All right, folks, it is time to get started. It is 3:30 on what is today, the 17th of February. I'm Pepper. This is Godly Trading. It's time for our daily live trading room. Thank you all for being here. The what's he trading in? The robot there. I'll show you in a minute what he's trading. It's one of the things I wanted to take a moment. I know I blow through these daily trading sessions pretty quickly. I've got to get everything done in half an hour. There's a very specific reason that I do that. I want to live my life more and trade less, but still be able to maintain what I'm looking for. So with that, let's go through our normal routine, which always starts with reading the verse of the day. I tried to figure out how to make this thing bigger. Galatians 6:9. I love this. It says, "Let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." I think that this is so applicable for so many of us and so many of you who are struggling to trying to build consistency. We're trying to do the right thing in trading every day, and you just want to see some success. You just want to see some momentum, and you can get worn down by the everyday grind of trading. I love this. It says, "Do not grow weary while doing good. Keep on keeping on," as we would say here in Mississippi. "For in due season, you will reap if you do not lose heart." That's what trading is. Trading is like, the best trading is like farming. You plant your seed, God gives the increase, and the harvest comes as a byproduct of your obedience. I love that. So remember that. Trading can get you down, but if you stick to it, in the end, you will reap the harvest. Back over to here, and let's look through the trading calendar. By the way, for me, I've mentioned in the past that what do I care about when it comes to the economic calendar? I don't trade stocks. I have one stock that I do once a month using the wheel strategy option play. It's plug, and I worry about what it's doing. But so I don't look at stocks every single day. I'll look at the markets just here in a second. However, there are some economic factors that control global worldwide markets, mainly when the U.S. has an interest rate decision. Tonight, by the way, if you're trading the Kiwi, be careful. They've got one of these interest rate decisions. Why do I care about the Kiwi? Why does anybody care about the Kiwi? Well, in the grand scheme of things, if some central bank around the world is going to start cutting rates, the Kiwis are going to go first. So that kind of is a precursor. What's the Fed, right? When the Fed does a thing, it affects the whole world. It affects futures. It affects Forex. It affects the stock market. Well, having the Kiwis go first gives us an early warning system for what the Fed might do later on. So be mindful of what's going to happen tonight with the Reserve Bank of New Zealand. And then we've got, for you day traders out there, whenever the FOMC releases their minutes from the previous month, there's always a little bit of commentary that goes with it. So be careful tomorrow around lunchtime. And then later in the week, we've got, where was it? We've got GDP. Oh, it's Friday. So Friday is a big day. Friday morning. Y'all be careful out there. I feel like the guy from Hill Street Blues. Y'all be careful out there Friday morning. All right. So today in the overall market, you can see, the market itself has not moved much at all. It's just been going dead sideways. This is a fantastic opportunity. If you are a range trader, you go long when it hits the bottom of the range, you go short when it hits the top of the range, it bounces back and forth, and it's like printing money if you're a range trader. They don't come along that often. But let me turn on my handy dandy supply and demand tool, and we'll find that, there's a zone there, and there's a zone there. So if I was day trading, I'd go long here and I'd go short there, and you'd make that amount of money. But I swing trade, so I don't worry about that. Supply and demand tool, by the way, this is one of those, be careful when you learn supply and demand. Why do I say that? Because once you've learned it, you can't unlearn it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And if it doesn't factor into your trading, then it will lurk in the back of your mind and think, yeah, but there's a demand zone. And you're like, but I don't care about demand zones. Yeah, but there's a demand. So be careful what you learn, because it's always there. It's a great thing about trading, right? It's a skill that anybody can learn. And you can use it for the rest of your life. You never unlearn the skill of trading. So let's take a quick look at, I want to focus today on some of the robots that I've got, or one and a half of the robots that I've got. Good afternoon. How are you? So I'm going to, real quickly, I'm going to go through a couple of the strategies. Frank had his first, I thought I logged into that. Oh, that's the wrong one. Y'all give me 1 second. Trading and that one. Frank had his first loss in quite some time. What was it? It was pound US. That was today. I thought it was a different pair. Give me 1 second. Last 7 days. Nope, pound US. All right, let's take a look at that. Let's go over here and look at Frank and look at our Forex pairs. So we are currently in oil and going negative on us. Well, it happens. He said, I'm afraid I picked up some bad habits. I like trading in queue, but it doesn't like me that much. All right, so for those of you who like to trade futures and you like to trade the NASDAQ, I use juggling as an example often because it's a skill like cooking or trading. And let's say that you eventually want to have a show in Vegas and you want to juggle flaming chainsaws. That's a lofty goal. You don't start off juggling flaming chainsaws. You start off juggling beanbags. This is why I like to start people off trading something nice and slow like the daily chart of Forex. Because trading the NQ is like juggling flaming chainsaws. It is volatile. And can you start off trying to build discipline and consistency trading the NQ? Yes. Should you? Probably not. It says you can't trade it, but make sure that you're prepared for what you're going to experience when trading the NQ. Anyway, our oil trade is heading the wrong way. Pepper, would you stop drawing things on the chart? Y'all give me 1 second. Where's my back button? There we go. Our oil trade is going negative so far, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that, to be honest. It does what it's going to do. Aussie CAD, we're in that. We're finally seeing some movement on this. A lot of our pairs on Frank have been just hanging around for, goodness, a week or so. Aussie Swiss, we're back up positive on that. Euro Aussie, back positive. Euro Kiwi, barely, but back positive. Kiwi CAD, positive. Kiwi Swiss, we are dead entry point. And Kiwi US, positive. So by and large, everything should be, and it is, yeah, everything is mostly in the green. Open positions here. But yeah, just, here, the oil trade. All right, so let's take a look at that Kiwi US, pound US. All right, Pepper, find your chart. There it is. I didn't even think that thing had triggered. Oh, so this happens. We just barely got triggered. You can see right there. Let me zoom in a lot. You can see our trade, we just barely got triggered and it fell away. It happens. So as a result, we've gone from an 80% win rate to a 76% win rate. I'm still okay with that. Frank's doing his job. Over here on Forest, the daily chart trading of Forest, we have two trades that have been just sitting there forever. We've got Euro Swiss, which is, hang on, nope, CAD Swiss, not Euro Swiss. CAD Swiss is over here on Forest, and it is, I'm being spastic, y'all, excuse me. CAD Swiss is not moving a whole lot. And then we got Euro US. It's also not moving a whole lot. Okay. Real quick, we'll look at Bob. Bob is my breakout strategy. I've been trading for 4 years now. We got one pair that's open, Euro Pound. It finally had a good day here. It finally is positive. All right, so that leads us to what I wanted to talk about today, which is this trading robot that I've got that trades the Forest strategy automated. And you can see right now, it's been trading it for 2 months. I started somewhere in mid-January, I believe. Let's take a quick look at our trade history. When was the first trade I took on this thing? I opened the trading account on December the 24th, but I didn't take my first trade until halfway through January. So you can see January was a negative month. And well, I'll get to that in a second. January was a negative month, and so far February has been good. February, I'm up 5% on this one system in February. This is the trading robot. Let me just show you what it does, and then we'll talk to you about the process that you must go through when trading, when using a trading algorithm. So the Forest strategy simply says this: when we on Forest? Yeah, we are. So the Forest strategy simply says, hey, we have 2 moving averages. That's our base point. And when we have a brand new trend started, in other words, the fast moves above the slow or the fast moves below it, right? Uptrend would be this, downtrend would be this. When we put in a new high or new low, those are signified by these dots. We look to enter at the 30. That's it. That's the entire strategy in a nutshell. I trade this manually on the daily chart. Don't have time to trade it myself on anything. By the way, FYI, if anybody out there is interested in this particular strategy, as per the creator of this strategy, says this strategy works best on the 1 hour. So if you'd like to try, Isaac says just like 110% on my swing trade. Well, Isaac, how long? I'm very curious how long he's over on Instagram, by the way, for those of you who are currently watching on. What are y'all watching on? Got 2 of you on Godly on some of you are on YouTube, and a few of you are on Facebook. Isaac, how long was that swing trade? How long did it last? And did it last longer or shorter than you were expecting? I'm going to make a swing trader of him yet. YouTube, fantastic. So the creator of this strategy says 1 hour, about 1 month out, and sold it within 1 week. Oh, there you go, Isaac. Good job, fantastic. That's about what my swing trades last. So for my system, I always take 2 positions to be one trade. The first position will close out at 1-to-1. When that happens, the second position, I move the stop loss to break even, and it just goes till the trailing stop gets hit. Usually it's 3 to 4 days, maybe a week. I had one that lasted 2 months. It happens. I had one that lasted 3 hours. This particular system, though, seems to thrive, for whatever reason, on the 1 hour chart. So if you need a system, if you're trying to get started, 1 hour can absolutely be swing trading. It's pushing it, though. But I think the 1 hour chart is probably the smallest, what's what I'm looking for? Shortest time frame that you can be considered a swing trader on. I just don't have time. So here's what I did. I went to my trading algorithm, Forest here, and I call it Ebenezer. I've gone back and forth with names on this thing. And I tested it out on a couple of different, by the way, when I say test it out, I'll go to my strategy tester and I change the settings and I tell it what all, this is somebody else's right now, but I tell it what all it needs to have. Let me just, for sake of argument, go to, I've got Frank. I was going to show you Frank. We'll go to Forest, which is called Ebenezer, which is also called Secretariat, which don't worry about the names. So you can see all the inputs on it. There's not a lot. Testing is as much art as it is science. You don't want to flip too many levers. Anyway, long story short, what I ended up finding on this particular strategy, I tested it on the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 30 minute, the 15 minute. And I'm just looking for, does it have any sort of positive return? Didn't find one. So then I took all of the data from the 15-minute chart, and I just started at the bottom. Took all that data, and I started on gold. There's a reason I start on gold. Gold's the easiest market to start on because you think, well, I'm going to trade futures. Well, what do I trade? I want to trade stocks. Well, what do I trade? I'm going to trade Forex. What do I trade? If you don't know what to trade, trade gold. There's biblical reasons, but it's just the easiest thing to start with. So I started with gold, 15-minute chart, ran the test for 1 year. And I'm less concerned about the time than I am the number of trades. So I'm going to run this in the background. This is a VPS, so it's not. It's going to take some time. One of our members of our community has a very expensive computer. His goes boop and it's done. So hang on real quick. Let me just go and show you. My settings are going to be on the 15-minute chart, and it's going to be the entire year of 2025. I'm going to start, and it's going to run. All right. While that's running, I'll tell you what I did. So I found some settings. I consider them default settings. Things like 1-to-1, move to break even, stop loss is here, position size is that. All right, just some basic settings. Ran the test for a solid year. Gave me a result of 300 trades, something like that. And that's what I'm looking for. I want a certain number of trades. You just need data. I took all of that data, dropped it into AI, and said, hey, here's all the trades that took place over the course of an entire year. I want you, Mr. AI, to sort this data for me. Specifically, I want you to show me hour by hour what my return was. And I don't mean when the trades close, when they open, right? So all of the trades that had entered at noon, what was the return on those? All the trades that entered at 1, what was the return on those? I know AI is controversial, but as someone who's lived through several technological revolutions in the last 51 years, I'm not as afraid of it as others because I see it as a hammer. AI is just an Excel spreadsheet you can talk to and that will talk back. That's all it is. So dump the data in there, and I had it sorted. And lo and behold, I'm looking at the hour by hour return. Yeah, not bad. Oh, well, look at that. From like 9 p.m. to 1 a.m., it's doing great. And sure, London opens at 2 a.m. my time, and it falls off a cliff. But I found this window. And that's what you do. It's okay, fine. I'm just going to trade that window. So make a few tweaks, narrow down the thing and say only trade during this window, and boom, you get a system that back tests like 60% a year. And I'm, currently, if I ended right now, I'd be ending the month at 5%, which is 60% a year. Now, well, that's fantastic. Why don't you just dump all your money into it? Well, here's what happened. I started trading, and by the way, it's still going. It's going to take 4 minutes for this back test to be ended. If you got a good system, this is going to take you like that. John's system just like laughs at mine. Mine's a VPS. What's a VPS? A virtual private server. Mine is a cloud-based computer that I log into. I use remote desktop, and I can log into it from wherever. This was what allows me to trade on a cruise ship, which I will be doing in 27 days. Speaking of cruise, we have the Godly Trading Cruise coming up in October. Let me know if you're interested. So anyway, I found this time window and tested it, tweaked it, put it to work on a demo account. And what happens? The first 8 or 9 trades, matter of fact, I will show you. The first 8 or 9 trades were win-loss, 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 win-loss. Let me show you guys my trading results here. So this is when I first started. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. And then it went on a, at the end of January, it went on a 1, 2, 3, 4 trade losing streak. Is that right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. It had 4 losses in a row. And then loss, win, loss. So I'm like, this thing is, what happened, right? I was growing weary while doing good. I'm like, this thing is supposed to be better than this. What, should I just give up? At the end of the day, when this happened, I only had 12 trades. You don't know anything until you got a 50 trades. I kept going, right? I just keep on keeping on. And it turned around. Now, if you look at the results here, it's had a 5% month. Well, 3% of that came from today. So we still don't know enough, right? We've had 40 trades. Remember, every trade that this thing takes, it's 2 trades. So it's really just 20 trades. You think this thing is fantastic. 5%, and you don't have to do anything. It's automated. Yeah, 5%, but it's still only 20 trades. I don't really know enough yet. But for all of you out there who are thinking, well, I just want to find some trading robot and have it trade for me because I'm not disciplined and I'm over trading and I'm doing all of these things. Once upon a time, I was struggling with my discipline, and I was a day trader, If you've read the book, you know I am a reformed day trader. Now, what do the alcoholics call themselves? I'm a recovering day trader. I said, well, here's what I'm going to do. I learned a code, and I'm going to create a trading robot that will manage my trades for me. I still am going to make all the decisions about entry. Hey, I see what I'm looking for on the chart. This is happening. This is happening. Okay, time to get in that trade. Click the button. Now I'm in the trade. Now I turn it over to my trading robot, and I'll let it handle all of the things I can't do. At the time, one of my rules was don't turn a day trade into a swing trade. Close your trade out 10 minutes before the market closes. Don't lose more than 2% or whatever the percent was. Don't lose more than 2% a day. When you're up 4%, quit for the day. That was fantastic. And after a couple of days, I'm like, this is great. This is great. It's doing all the things I can't do. And then one day, how many of my stories involve, and then one day, I was in 2 or 3 negative trades, and the end of the day was approaching. 3:45 Central is when this robot was scheduled to auto close all of my trades. And I did not want to accept the loss that day. I'd had so many, I'd just been beaten down. I just could not stomach the thought of those losses. But I knew that this robot, it is empowered to do all of this for me. It's going to close these trades, whether I like it or not. So 30 seconds before the robot hit the exit button, I hit the power button and turned off the robot. And 3 months of training and 2 months of coding and a week's worth of testing went out the window because I stepped in and took over. So don't think that a trading robot is your shortcut to discipline. There is no shortcut to discipline. And lest you're wondering, discipline is the one and only key to being a successful trader. Let's check in on our, hey, it's done. Sticking a pin in that anecdote, jump back over to this, and you can see the back test shows that in a year, it took 400, so let's call it 500 trades. Remember, 2 trades per position. So 250 trades, and this is perfect. I've got 250 trades over the course of a year. What does a year matter? There are seasonal cycles that are real things. The Santa Claus rally, the summertime doldrums. So you do want to test your system over an entire year to get those in there. And you really want 200, 300, 400 trades. This is perfect. And this shows, hey, it's got a completely negative profit. Why would I even bother doing anything else? Why even move? Because you come down here and you look and say, well, profit by hour. Hey, look, here's a couple of profitable hours here. Here's a couple of profitable days. And this is when I said, okay, well, I'm not going to trade it 24/7. I'm only going to trade it. And you can see on my chart, turn this off. You can see on my chart this gray bar. This is just a visual representation of this is the only time that my system will enter a trade. And see it entered a trade here. And it hit my first take profit, and then it hit the trailing stop for the second one. Today it made so every trade is 1% risk, which on $104,000 is $1,040, something like that. So today it made 500 and 300, so it's about 800, about $950, so just under 1%. It also closed out a really $1,500 trade, so a really good trade there. But here's the thing: trading robots are great. It's the only way I'm going to ever day trade. Not because I'm worried about my consistency. I have the discipline now to day trade if I wanted to. I could make the time, but I have created a system that gets enough. I have defined what enough means to me, and I've created a system that allows me to get enough in half an hour a day. And I'm not willing to add more. Everything in trading is a trade-off. I could make more, but I would have to do more. And I'm happy to be more. I'm happy to spend my time writing another book. I don't want to talk about it. My wife has said that on the next, yes, absolutely, Isaac, that is all we need. Next cruise I'm going on, which is in 27 days. She said she's parking me in front of a window. We're not getting off the cruise ship till the next book is written. But I've learned to keep trading in its place. And I don't want to expand what I do. Doesn't mean you can't. Doesn't mean if you have 4 hours to sit in front of your computer and day trade, you can't. Absolutely. Whatever time you feel comfortable. Your goal as a trader is to end your trading day, however you define that, right? Maybe it's 11 a.m., maybe it's 3 p.m., whatever it is. When you are done trading for the day, your goal is to be able to pray, God, I want to have traded in a way that honored you and served my family. Isaac says, thank God for the ability to understand and appreciate trading, such a blessing from God. It is. Trading is a blessing. Trading is a creative outlet. Trading is the most amazing opportunity anybody can possibly have to set their family free. Bringing this in for a landing regarding the trading algorithm. They're great. They're the only way I'm ever going to day trade because I'm just not willing to give the time. But it doesn't mean that it takes less time to trade an algorithm. Because instead of me clicking the buttons, now I have to manage it. All right. So your spiritual goal, your responsibility goal as a trader is to trade in a way that honors God and serves your family. Your career goal as a trader is to not be the world's best button clicker, to not be the world's best trader. Your goal is to take a step back from being the trader to being the trading business owner. And now you've got 3 or 4 strategies. Maybe you've got a couple of trading robots. Maybe you got 7 accounts. Now your job is to manage. You're the Taco Bell manager, and you've got employees to manage. Every day I go check on Gold Forest Gold. He needs a name. I go check on him to see if he did what he was supposed to do that day. I say it. I can't just turn it on and let it go. I did that once. I had a system I was trading, set it and forget it for 7 months. It made me 2%, which is what I wanted it to do. It made me 2% every single month for 7 months, like clockwork, 14%. And then in month 8, it lost 13% in 1 month, all because I set it and forget it. You have to manage these things. You have to give them oversight. I have a regularly scheduled check-in with my trading robot. Every quarter, I open up the optimization and I run a back test for a 12-month rolling back test to see if it's still where it needs to be. Are there any tweaks, just like you would have an annual review at your job. So trading robots are fantastic. The best use of them is to be the you in front of the computer when you can't be or don't want to be. One of our members, Paulie, had a fantastic system that worked great at 2 a.m, but he was having to get up every morning and manually trade it. So he designed a robot to do that for him so that he could sleep. That's the best use of a trading robot. Remember, they're just a hammer. A trading robot is a tool. It's not a trader in and of itself. So don't think that it is going to have the discipline that you can't. It is just you on autopilot. So, and I was going to show you Frank. I don't have time to show you Frank. I have an algorithm built for Frank. 80% built. Bless my heart. I just can never seem to find the time to sit down and finish the thing out. But yeah, I could put Frank on autopilot. I could put Bob on autopilot if I wanted to. And I justify not finishing those algorithms by saying it's faster to do it manually than it would be to finish the algorithm. That's just an excuse, to be honest, because I'm just getting distracted and I'm old. So anyway, good day overall on the market. Bob is down a little bit. Forest Gold is killing it. And the Forest Forex trades has been just as slow and boring as watching paint dry, which is how everyone's trading should be. So with that, guys, thank you all for being here. I will be back tomorrow.